104.1 KRBE, a Cumulus media station.
Good morning, everyone.
We ready?
Live from the TXU Energy Studio.
The Rula and Ryan Show with producer Eric, Special K, and Sam.
Okay, we'll still send a code 3.
104.1
KRBE.
Food wars, what you gonna pick? Which one delicious? Which one to make you sick? Food wars, which one is it best? Which one's a winner? Which one you detest?
Food Wars. All dishes remain equal until proven more tasty.
Ah, yes, it's all about the winter foods. Here we
And
are
now that the
heading into
temperatures
that
have
season.
dropped, people want like warm things to eat.
Comfort
Comfort food,
I always laugh.
warm things to eat.
Was it last week when Kevin said about the tire gauge?
Oh, yeah, when the orange light comes on.
What do you say? It's time to make the chili? Or?
Yeah, when that orange light comes on, a tire pressure light, you know it's time to put the chili on.
I like the chili.
That's true.
Okay, fun fact about me, I've never once in my life made chili, ever.
No?
And I've never had chili at somebody's
What?
house that was like Texas chili, but I've seen the debate. I've heard the debate for years here on the show.
Beans
and
or no
outside
beans?
about Texas chili and how you eat it when it's warm. But I don't know really what goes in it other than red kidney beans. Am I right?
Oh, I hate kidney
Oh,
beans.
I hate
put
kidney
in
beans.
black beans.
Yeah.
I
Never
do
use kidney
beans.
Blech.
Oh, you use them, Sam?
Yes.
Okay. Eric, what does your wife make?
I don't know. There are beans in it. Are they red looking?
The kidney beans are those really
oh my
gigantic
gosh.
beans.
It's like I'm just here.
She gets mad at me because I
Spoon.
put. She always yells because I put the cheese on the bottom and I put the chili on top so it melts into it.
Yes, you
She's like,
alien.
it screws up the bowl when I'm trying to clean
And
it.
then you put Eric. That's a rookie mistake. You
You're the
lay a
worst.
thin little layer of the chili, and then you put some cheese in the middle, then chili on top, cheese and do it
No,
layered.
I like just all cheese.
I grew
and
up
then
with Wolf
stir
brand
it.
chili out of the
Wolf
can.
Brand.
That was real good on hot
And
dogs.
then do you put sour cream on top of that chili?
Oh, I would do that. That sounds
If
like it
Mark
would be
ate
tasty.
sour cream, I would definitely do that, but he doesn't. So
With some scallions?
please don't buy it.
Oh, you
Some
mean
fresh
like
green
little
onion?
chives?
Well, let's
Yeah.
go to Jeannie on the
But this
line.
debate's mostly about gumbo versus chili.
Yeah, because I'm a gumbo girl. I'm a gumbo girl. I do love gumbo.
Now, what all do you put in your gumbo?
Well, I only eat it at the family restaurant, and that's what they put in their
Seafood gumbo.
It's seafood gumbo. And actually, you know what, Kevin? I like it when I go into the kitchen at the restaurant, which is like my family table, right? I'll say, "Can I just have some gumbo, no seafood?"
But
I
then it's
want
not gumbo.
all the stuff. I want all the stuff minus the seafood because it's already the
Vegan-
gumbo
vegan
base
gumbo?
is made,
Right.
and then you can
That
add the
makes
shrimp
sense.
and the crab meat or whatever you want to put in there. And for years, I was raised on shrimp and crab meat
You don't
gumbo.
like the sausages
but
in
I
it?
just like I know people don't like okra, but newsflash, I love okra in gumbo. Give me all the
That's
okra
the part
in the
I
gumbo.
throw that
Let's see
part
you
out.
fish
Yeah,
that out.
same.
I love it.
Slimy.
I love it. I love it. I love
Yeah, a
it.
little
Okay,
slime.
Jeannie's on the line, and we're gonna have food wars: gumbo versus chili. Hi, Jeannie. Good morning. Which do you choose, and how do you make it?
Well, my husband makes the best chili. He uses kidney beans. When we were in college, it used to be ground beef, but now he uses steak strips with just a little bit of ground
Baked
beef.
chili. That's highfalutin.
That's fancy.
Oh,
That
yeah.
is bougie.
Well, when we were in college, all we could afford was ground beef, and I didn't like it because it seemed like sludge to me.
What? It's just hamburger?
That's so good.
Wow. So it's not more like beef stewy with the strips of steak, Jeannie?
No, because he does not make it runny. He still uses the ground beef. He's perfected his recipe.
Got it.
Oh, my gosh.
All right, you got to bring it
so
in.
good.
We got to do it for Try Tuesday. We'll try yours.
He's got the
Yeah.
ground up steak.
Yeah.
Steak strips.
And
Sounds
for
chili.
me, no, he doesn't grind up the steak. It's
Oh.
actually, chunks of steak like you have
Oh,
in your
wow.
beef stew.
Is it tender?
And
I just feel
Oh,
like it's not
yes,
natural,
because-
so people try it and they won't. Because you're used to chili being more like ground beef.
Yes.
well, his family used to make fun of us because they're like, "Oh, now that you graduate college, you think you're all that, spending all that money and getting primo, making primo
I
chili."
got me a college education. I'm
your
making some
steak
fancy
strips.
chili.
Gonna move to River Oaks now.
That filet
Now,
mignon.
do you go heavy on the chili powder? Do you like it spicy?
He likes it spicy, so I've learned to acquire the taste for it. He puts kidney beans in there, but not a lot because I don't like a lot of beans. So we compromise.
Got it.
So would you
Okay.
take
But-
chili over gumbo if you had to choose?
Well, I prefer gumbo. I make the seafood gumbo. He makes, and of course, that's another thing his family talks. Oh, now you guys make a fancy gumbo.
Fancy gumbo.
Man, they sure are hating on you guys in your bougie life.
That crab
But you
meat
know
up
they're going
in
to be the
there.
first ones in life that spoon.
You got lobster in there?
Jeannie, thanks so much for calling our show. That was an even draw for her. Gumbo
Yeah.
1 point.
That was
Yeah, but
chili 1
when you
point.
say seafood gumbo, isn't that redundant? Because gumbo is seafood.
No,
It's
sometimes
always
it's chicken and
gumbo.
sausage.
Chicken and
Gumbo.
sausage.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
can be gumbo with no seafood in it?
Oh, yeah.
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 You had chicken and sausage?
gumbo.
That's really good.
Yeah. Okay, Ashley's up next. And we're talking food wars.
Somebody took a
Gumbo
breath.
versus chili. Hi, Ashley. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello. What do you
morning.
choose? Chili or gumbo, and what's in it?
100% gumbo.
Okay.
And we make chicken and sausage because half of my household only eats the chicken and sausage, but then I put shrimp in it as well because the other half of my household eats the shrimp. And the best part about gumbo is you can freeze the juice.
Oh yeah,
so
the
that
roux.
you just pull it out on a cold day when you don't have time to sit there for hours and hours to perfect the flavors, and it's so much better. You just put extra meat in it. Oh, so good. Now I'm
See
hungry.
a doctor up
No, she's like, now I'm
leftovers.
And we had about three decent days of cold. Have you made gumbo yet, Ashley?
I have not because I've been working and I don't. And you can't just go home and have like an hour and a half to cook and make a gumbo.
process.
It has to like develop the flavors over hours.
With the roux.
The
Yeah, the
roux.
roux,
Yes.
So delicious. Gumbo filet. Well, thanks, Ashley. Now you got me hungry for some gumbo. I'm heading on.
You might want to do it tonight because a week from now it's going to be in the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
I'll
I'm
enjoy
making
it.
potato
It's gonna be
soup
80s by
when I get
Saturday.
home.
The Texans, did
Potato
they
soup.
invent like the Frito pie?
I
Is
don't
that-
know
is
because
that a-
I've always lived in Texas. So you tell me. When you
I
were
had
in
Frito pie up
Illinois, you
north.
never heard of
I
it?
never heard of it. Like,
To put Fritos with
You just
chili
open
and
up a-
cheese
like
and
here you go to
onions.
You open up the little
sour
bag of
cream.
Fritos and you pour in the chili.
We did it with Doritos.
yeah, I never.
You had Dorito pie in Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
Dorito pie.
I had never heard of,
Yeah,
that
never heard of that.
until I came to Texas, and I was like, "That sounds so gross." Don't you know I'll make a Frito pie every time I have
See?
chili now?
Yeah.
It's delicious.
That's where it
Okay.
starts with the Fritos at the bottom.
That's why we used to eat Fritos.
And as a
know,
born and raised Houstonian, I just thought that was an item that James Coney Island invented. James
Oh,
Coney
yeah,
Island.
yeah,
invented
yeah.
it.
They
I
served
thought
it in our
they invented
cafeteria.
that. I think that was on their menu. It's the first time I ever heard of Frito pie. And so then when people start talking about Frito pie in general, I go, oh, like you can get that somewhere else?
I never heard of it in Illinois.
Oh, no, Rula.
Yeah.
I remember going to, like, in high school, the two things you lived for the most was, like, pizza on Fridays and you got Frito pie, like, every 2 weeks
At the
they'd
school
do it.
cafeteria?
Yeah, and they'd have a bag of Fritos opened up with chili and cheese on it, and you'd be like, oh, yes.
That's probably when they used real meat.
I don't like
in the
that you put it in
cafeterias.
that
Now it's
bag.
like, who knows?
Oh, they're saying that Frito pie. This is a quick Google
Yes.
What is it?
search, real quick. It's back in the 1930s, claiming San Antonio, the person that created Fritos, they decided to make the Frito pie.
And did
So-
they get the smell from dog's feet?
Oh, stop.
Oh yeah, because they do smell like Fritos.
Fritos?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
never
they
did-
really
we
do.
never
Wait a
spoke
second.
to dogs.
Now that I
Sniff
have
the
a
pads
dog,
of my dog's feet.
Listen, now that I have a
Yes.
dog
Yeah.
for years, Leslie, who we work with, who loves dogs, years ago said, "Oh, their paws smell like Fritos," and I was like, "Oh, that's weird." Now that I have a dog, I was reading these things about all this stuff. I have never smelled Fritos on my dog, but it says if your dog's paws smell like Fritos, they have some kind of problem. You got to
They
check
have like
them
a
out.
yeast infection.
Yeah,
Like
that's
a paw
problem.
yeast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
They said,
They're
so
not
if your
supposed
dog
to smell. Oh my gosh,
Well, I don't
Kevin.
want to check other places.
Yeah, if your dog's
here.
paws smell like Fritos, take them to the
I
vet.
didn't know you could get a
apparently.
yeast infection with your paws.
Well, that dogs can because in between their
Maybe it's not yeast, but it's
whatever they call it that. That's how it. And but let's not talk
Pretty
about
sure
that.
it
Talk about
is.
food because that's kind of gross.
Like
cross
dog
reference.
athlete's foot.
Yeah, pretty much. Sean
tough
is up
acting
next.
connected.
Hello. He has a great chili recipe he would like to share.
Oh.
So in Food Wars, Sean chooses chili.
Smart man.
Hi, Sean. Good morning.
Good morning. I have a quick, what I call my 30-minute chili. I'll buy ranch-style beans, fry up some, I'll brown my hamburger meat. I'll dice up some onions and tomatoes and stuff and throw in there. Throw the ranch-style beans in there, let it simmer for about 20 minutes, and voila, a quick chili, and nobody seems to turn it away and go, oh, that's no good.
What about the
about
seasoning?
Spices, yeah.
I just use the ranch-style bean, the seasoning in the ranch-style beans to season it.
No,
wow,
no
interesting.
chili powder or no,
No chili powder, nothing. The ranch-style beans already got a little
Wow.
seasoning, kind of like a chili powder in it.
I got to try this now and see if it's any good.
That's a quickie. That's a quickie chili.
you're not making this, Eric.
No,
Let's be real.
I want him to make
Yeah.
it, and I'll try.
Well, I mean, it comes out of a can, so Eric could probably pull it
I
off.
can probably make it.
He is the king
Yeah.
of the 4-ingredient casserole.
Yep.
Thanks,
Although-
Sean. You gave people some ideas for
you're
quickie
welcome.
chili. Have a great day.
I remember
Oh, yeah.
Rula had a
Take care.
Christmas
You too,
party
thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Before
The
she was-
first Christmas party with Tassos.
and he was like walking to everyone, hey, I got some chili in my trunk of my car. You want to try it? It's got peanut butter in it. That's all. For some reason, I had that memory.
Peanut
I was
butter
drunk.
chili?
All Eric talks about is the first time he met Tassos was like, you want some chili from my car?
So I'm
It's
like,
got
did you
peanut
drive all the way from
Some car
Dallas?
chili?
You drove to Dallas down here with chili in your trunk?
Why
Crock
was it
pot
his
chili?
car? It wasn't in the car.
Yeah, it was in it. It was outside
in the
in
fridge
like what,
in the
in
garage.
Tupperware?
It was no, it was in the fridge
It was actually
in the
good.
garage.
It had peanut butter in it, though.
Yes,
never
because
tasted
Tassos
anything
used to
peanut
work at
butter
Whole Foods, and Whole Foods every now and again would do like these like tastings, right? Like, oh, come try this sample, whatever. And they did an employee chili contest, if I have all the details right. And he threw things together. Tassos is the kind of cook that he does not follow recipes. He just knows how to, kind of like people who can play piano by ear. He just cooks with flavors, and it just turns out amazing. So he was throwing all this stuff in there, and he put peanut butter in to thicken it, and it turned out really amazing. So he was like, I almost can never replicate this again, but it's so good. Well, you got to tell people about peanut allergy,
chili.
obviously. And I think because at my townhouse, when I had that party that Eric's talking about, I had a fridge in the garage. So you had to go out the back door, through the gate,
What
to
did he
the
make it,
garage
though?
door.
He had to make it at home in
Like
Dallas.
in Dallas, you're going to drive with it
because
for
he
4
was living
hours.
here then. He moved
I
here
thought it
in
was like a- I
May
thought
of
it was-
2008, and this was the Christmas we were engaged.
I don't think you were engaged yet because this is like one of the first times.
It had to be because the first Christmas was the engaged Christmas. I met him in March. We got engaged in November.
Man, you guys didn't mess around.
No, we did not. And we got married the next October.
It's all because of his chili.
No, he did not make it in Dallas, driving down, leaving his trunk and
That was
offering
like trunk
to
chili. I'm like,
It's got to ferment in the trunk a little bit.
I like your story better,
Yeah,
Eric.
the trunk chili actually can be the real story, even though we
it's
know
like those
not
bourbons
true.
I buy that like the barrels were on ships for 3 months and the waves made it swish
Oh, yeah.
around,
Oh,
and that
Lord.
makes it age. Well, what is
So you're trying
Yeah,
to say
who
that
cares?
his chili's so good because of the speed bumps in Corsicana?
yeah, the potholes.
Oh, man. All right, y'all want to go to the listener line. Of course, we love to hear your chili versus gumbo debates because people get really very, very, very territorial
Mix them
about
together.
what's so good. Okay, coming up next, though, we do need your calls
Jumbo.
for Ask the Attorney. What'd you say?
Such a jumbo would be good. Chili and
Jumbo.
Chili gumbo?
Yeah.
Is that like a
Sounds
hybrid we need to
gross.
try?
That sounds real nasty.
No, thank you. No, thank
Get
you.
rice in
It's
there. I
either
don't know.
gilly or chumbo. I don't know what you want to call it. Okay, but let's switch gears because Adam Ramji's coming in. It's Ask the Attorney time. So you get some free legal advice at 713-390-KRBE. Let's hear what you got next on the Rule and Ryan Show.
104.1. Back to the Rule and Ryan Show.
It is time for our segment, Ask the Attorney with Adam Ramji.
Okay, before we get into the calls at 713-390-KRBE, I want to remind everybody again that today, you can see Kevin Quinn and Audrey Rose live broadcasting from 3 o'clock to 7 o'clock for their show at Kroger in the Heights, 1440 Studemont Street, because we're doing Turkey in Your Trunk. We're trying to raise money for the Houston Food Bank. You bring some non-perishable goods or buy them at Kroger because they've got these Kroger hunger bags ready to go, and they'll stack the shelves at the Houston Food Bank, and then you'll be in the running for a brand new dining room table. I don't know why I'm saying Thanksgiving table. I was thinking in my brain.
Dining room table's pretty
the giant
sweet.
Adult Thanksgiving table. I say the adult table because how many years have you been in a situation like we have the kids table and we have the
Until I
adults
was
table?
21, I had to sit at the card table.
This is the real deal table, the fancy table up for grabs from Exclusive Furniture. We're trying to fill the Exclusive Furniture truck full of donations for the Houston Food Bank, and you'll be in the running for that. And you can see them live today at the Kroger in the Heights. Tomorrow at the Kroger in Katy on Grand Parkway. They did it yesterday. They'll do it today. They'll do it tomorrow. Go to krbe.com for all the information and how you could help yourself and a family for the holidays with some food. Okay, Adam Ramji, hello. Welcome back.
Hey, Adam.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on air. It's so nice to be with you guys again.
Well, it's nice that
always
you
fun.
can give some free legal advice for those who have been injured in some way. They are looking to see if what happened to them is worth pursuing legal action. And that's usually what we do on the calls. We would try and find that answer out. 713-390-KRB. Let's start with Melanie, shall we? Let's go right to Melanie. Oh, she's on line 4. That one always sticks. Hi, Melanie.
Good morning, Melanie.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, Melanie, what's your question for Adam?
My brother is in a wheelchair after a stroke. He's partially paralyzed on his left side. And we were crossing the street downtown, and a car turned from the left, and she hit my brother's foot, his left foot, and spun him around and hit his right knee on the car.
Oh, man.
And it pushed him back, and it knocked me on my rear end. We both went to the doctor. Everything checked out, but it took me 4 days to get to the doctor because my tailbone and everything was hurting so bad.
Now, did he stop? Did he stop the car and say, "Hey, oh my God, I'm
No.
sorry, I clipped you"? So it's a hit and run.
No, she did not. It was a hit and run.
Oh, man.
And there was a gentleman that stopped to help me up out of the middle of the street.
that was able to zoom in because the next light caught her, and he zoomed in and got her license plate.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Nice.
Oh, sweet.
Okay.
I've since filed charges, so that's pending. But I don't know if, because the injuries were not long-lasting or whatever, is it worth it?
To sue her?
Yeah, can she
Jesus.
pursue them for a
Yes.
hit and run?
Man, there's so much that comes out of these hit and runs and everything you're saying here. I mean, first of all, if you got hit and run, I mean, that's so terrible. And so the first thing that comes to my mind is if the person did run and you were not able to get any information, that's why it's so important for even as a pedestrian, if you have what's called uninsured motorist coverage. So if somebody hits you, they don't have insurance. Even if you're a pedestrian, you can still claim on your uninsured motorist. So you have to go back and look at your own policy and see if you have uninsured motorists. That's number one. That's what came out. That's where I thought this was going. And then second thing is that if this is hit and run, if they hit you, if you had needed medical attention, of course you have a claim, most definitely. And also, just for justice, we should go after the guy. There's no reason that their insurance shouldn't pay something for hitting you like that. And the fact that you were able to get the license plate, that's critical. Let's really pursue that one. And also, what you were going to say is that it took you 4 days. I thought you were going to say it took you 4 days to find a doctor. You know, if you hire a law firm, we'll get you to a doctor literally the same day. You don't have to wait for your PCP, none of that stuff. We get you in the doctor's office right away. So I'm so sorry that happened to you and your brother, Melanie. Give us a call and let us take care of it.
So you can pursue it, Melanie. To answer you can pursue that.
Can they go after punitive damages, anything like that?
And that's a great question. So for punitive damages, you have to show gross negligence. And here,
that is,
of course, clear gross negligence. That's why this claim is going to be valuable. Maybe not so much that the injuries are so bad, but because what they did is really wrong. They shouldn't have done that. And so now we're going to pop you for that as well. So as long as you show gross negligence, you can get punitive damages.
And a lot of people are apprehensive to reach out to you because they think it's going to initially cost them or set them back, or they're maybe doing the wrong thing.
Right. And people say, people tell me if I hire a lawyer, it's the wrong thing. You need to hire someone hire a law firm if it's not ours, and do the right thing. Don't feel bad about it. It's not going to cost you anything. We don't charge you any fees for any of that stuff.
Okay, Adam Ramji, right here on the Rule and Ryan Show on 104.1 KRBE. His number to contact him is 713-ALL-8. So it's 888-8888.
Yeah, super
and
easy.
he's here to give us some legal advice. And Melanie, yes, to answer your question, you can pursue this. Call up Adam Ramji and y'all talk off the air. We're going to move on to the next call at 713-390-KRBE. It has to do with B's mother, who has passed away, but there's a question about her post. Is it mortem is the right phrase? Mortem? Post-mortem? Hi, B. Good morning.
Hi.
Hi.
Good morning,
So
B.
tell us what happened to your mom and what your question is for Adam Ramji. I'm sorry about the loss of your mother.
Thank you. My mother was coming home, and she was walking up her sidewalk to get to her apartment, and she slipped and fell, and she hit her head on an exposed tree root. And she
Unexposed what?
Tree root.
Tree root. Okay, an exposed
major,
tree root. Okay,
brain damage.
Whoa.
And she had to be life flighted to the hospital, and she had brain surgery, and her scans were so bad that she never fully recovered.
Whoa, I'm so sorry. Gosh.
Yeah, when did this happen?
Fluky, like she fell.
About 8 weeks ago.
About 8 weeks ago.
Oh my gosh. So she slips and falls, hits her head on the tree root, has such bad brain damage that it ultimately ended her life.
Yes.
Whoa.
Okay, so was this because there was a crack in the sidewalk or
the stairs?
That area is kind of textured.
Mm-hmm.
But it's public.
And yeah, it's the sidewalk.
So it's a common area at the park. I'll tell you, B, first of all,
her apartment complex.
Yeah, my condolences. And it's shocking how many apartment complex cases we're getting for slip and falls. The apartment complexes have to keep the place safe, and that's just their duty. So common areas are, like Special K was saying, it's a public place. It's a common area. If it's in their control, they have to keep it safe. And so, of course, we have to dig deep, see, okay, what did she slip on? Was it not safe? It's shocking how many stairwells are not lit, how many are slippery, the stairs are slanted. And so a case like this, we'd have to dig deep in it and say, okay, what happened? What negligence is there on the apartment complex? But you'd be surprised how many people fall in the same spot. And then we go talk to the people at the office. They're like, yeah, everybody falls over there. We're like, there we go.
So really, B, your question is more like, can you pursue something even though, your mother is since deceased? And I don't know if your evidence would be the medical records. It's because she passed away. She passed away because of the exposed tree root on that sidewalk. You think it caused a crack in the pavement that made her fall? Like trip and fall in the crack on the pavement? What happened?
I have no
Oh,
idea.
okay.
I just know that area of the sidewalk is kind of textured.
Yeah.
And she lived in this apartment complex for 25 years. So I know personally that I've like kind of tripped up when I walked in that area when I would go visit.
Well, it sounds to me like
yeah,
you'd have to do some research.
Do some
on
research,
that.
yeah, and for you not knowing, it's totally understandable because most people are like, I don't know what happened. So that's why it's so important to get someone involved right away, because when they find out there's some serious tragedy, they'll go and try to fix everything. Then we can't take pictures of stuff.
Right. B.
And
It's
I have,
important.
You got
I have pictures of everything.
Excellent.
Oh, good,
That's really good. And then just another legal note here is that evidence of remedial measures, if they go fix it, is not admissible. So if they say, "Hey, you were in control of it, and here's proof you fixed it," we cannot tell the court that, because we never want to discourage someone to fix something. So it's called evidence of fixing of remedial measures is not admissible. So that's why you got to get pictures right before they fix it.
Gotcha.
Okay. Well, B, yes, you can pursue that. I'm sorry for the loss of your mother, and talk to Adam after the show and see where y'all can go from there. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
we'll
glad
get the
you took
autopsy and see what happened. Yeah.
Take care.
On the other side here, if I fell on the sidewalk, the public sidewalk in front of KRBE because of a tree root, I'm under the impression that I can't go after the city.
Who's responsible?
So who's in control of that sidewalk? The city's in control of that. Slim pickings. You probably can't do anything here. If it's an apartment complex and there's a landlord, it's a for-profit company. They're in control of keeping the place safe. If it's outside the complex, then probably nothing. This one sounded like I think she's going upstairs or going on the sidewalk inside. So that's a really good point.
Okay, here's a question from Justin, whose wife was hit by someone that has state minimum insurance. I'm not sure what that means, but maybe Adam does. Hi, Justin.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi.
How are you all this morning?
We're fine. Make sure your radio's turned down, okay?
So there's no confusion on delay.
Yes, sir. Is that better?
It's great.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
So tell us the story. Your wife got hit by a car with state minimum insurance. What does this mean?
Probably nothing. This one sounds like
Yeah, so state minimum in Texas means that it's a 30. The least amount of insurance you can get in Texas is a 30/60 policy. So that's the cheapest, the lowest insurance you can get. You can't get less than that. So that means someone got hit and that's all they had. Is that right, Justin?
Yes. So they had the state minimum insurance when our car was totaled. The other person was at fault, and we ended up using our insurance to file the claim. We have
For the car?
And
okay.
Yes. So we ended up not getting the full value of the loan of the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to take out a personal loan to cover the balance of the vehicle, and just wondering if I've got a case for taking the person that hit my wife to court for the balance that I had to get a loan for.
Totally get it, yeah. So the answer here, Justin, is yes, however. So the yes is, of course, you can go after someone for doing that. However, if somebody only purchases state minimum, they probably don't have extra money to pay for other things, so it's unlikely they have extra assets. However, there's a super easy way for us to dig through that. We do asset searches all the time to see if this person has it. Other important things about this is people listening out there, if you have a car that has that you have a huge loan on, and if it gets totaled out, you still owe money on that. That's why it's so important to keep what's called gap insurance, because that gap closes it. It's like $80, maybe $100 for the whole year. It's super, super inexpensive. So never get caught having your car value, the loan higher than what you're owed on the car.
Especially if you're financing a brand new car, why would you not have that?
And a lot of insurance companies will force you to have it, or the dealer will force you to have it. But some people somehow are able to decline it. But don't ever decline gap insurance, because you want to make sure you keep that. Another thing you said was really important, Justin, is that if somebody hits you, they have state minimum. That's why, again, all listeners out there, it's so important for you to carry uninsured/underinsured motorists. Somebody hits you, hurts you really bad, messes up your car. If they don't have enough insurance, you have to have underinsured motorist coverage, because they don't have enough insurance to cover you because they are underinsured. So everybody should carry underinsured motorist coverage.
And talk about PIP.
Oh, yeah, and PIP, huge, right? That's also, we call it AKA no-fault insurance. If you're driving, you cause an accident, you're covered for your PIP. PIP is typically sold in 3 increments, 2,500, 5,000, or 10,000. The difference in carrying 10,000 coverage versus 2,500 coverage is probably $2 a month. And so
What's PIP stand for?
Personal injury protection. So if we're driving a car, say the 4 of us are in a car, and I'm driving, I get distracted, I smash into a tree. Each one of us can get coverage. I've got $10,000 in coverage. That means each one, that's $40,000 in coverage we can get.
For each person, not total $10,000.
No. For each person, right. PIP is each individual person. If you have 8 people in the car, it's $80,000, yeah. So always carry PIP, and always insist with your agent that I want $10,000, not $2,500 of coverage.
You know, that just brings up a good point, though. Say I'm carpooling. I'm like, hey, Kevin, Eric, we'll get in the car with me. We're going to go somewhere.
Yeah.
And I get in an accident.
Yes.
And it's my fault.
Sure.
and I injure my 3 coworkers,
Right.
I'm responsible for their bills, right?
Your insurance will pay that. Yeah, so your liability will cover that. And then also there's PIP, so which is called stackable. So let's say Rule is a passenger, and let's just say you're driving Eric's car. So now we go after insurance follows the vehicle. So there's Eric's insurance. So it's talking about PIP, 10,000 there. You're the driver, 10,000 your PIP, and say Rula has hers, 10,000 PIP. That's $30,000 she can collect just on PIP.
Oh,
So
wow. Does that take a long time? They make you jump through all these hoops, though, Adam?
No, PIP is relatively quick, but they'll pay for medical bills, not pain and suffering on that. So we have to have bills for that one. They'll pay for 4 things: funeral expenses, medical bills, lost wages, any hired domestic help. So there's specific things, but it's relatively quick. So the joke is really, who's got the highest insurance? All right, you drive.
Who's got the highest insurance?
Eric.
Oh, that's actually funny. All right. Okay, let's see. Somebody wants to know.
Eric.
Sandra wants a really basic layout that I think is a good 101 for all of us, because most people, we've never really laid this out. Sandra, ask your question. Good morning.
Good morning, Sandra.
Good morning. Hi, I've been driving for 20 years, and I've till this day have not gotten into an accident.
Knock on wood.
Knock on wood. Where's wood?
Yes, knock on wood. And now I'm just like, my kids are going to start driving, and I just don't know what is the correct legal steps to partake if something were to happen like that. What is the
correct procedure when you get into an accident?
Yeah.
What do you do? Let's do that. What's the 101? What do you do when you get in an accident? We haven't really talked about that.
Yeah, so I mean, there's certain steps. So if your kids are getting older, the solution is Metro bus. Don't let them drive. No, I'm kidding, Sandra. So having kids, number one, your insurance policies, of course, go up. I mean, your premiums go up, so it gets expensive. So teaching them safe driving obviously is really important. Tracking their cell phones, but if you're in an accident, like Rule is asking, what are the steps? I mean, the first thing is be careful what you say. Don't just start saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, this is my fault," or if you're not sure about it, just be quiet.
Do you get a police report immediately?
No. So they'll give you what's called a citation report right then, which has a number, and the police report will typically be ready between 7 and 10 days. We can sometimes get it faster. So you don't get the police report right then. That's why it's so critical. Everyone listen out there is take pictures of everything. And when I say everything, the car, of course, any injuries afterwards, but the pictures of the license plate and get the insurance information. I was talking to somebody just yesterday. I'm like, did you get the auto insurance information?
Yeah.
And thank God they did. And so getting the auto insurance information, because it'll take us 10 days to contact the insurance, and then also getting pictures. That way we can try to piece together the liability. Once we do that, then we say, all right, we're off to the races on this. And then securing your injuries, getting to the doctor right away. Because insurance companies will always say, well, why didn't you go to the doctor right away if you're hurt? And a lot of times the answer is, I didn't have money. I don't have health insurance.
Or I didn't know I was hurt.
I didn't know I was hurt.
People are in shock and they don't know they were hurt.
Right. So calling us, getting that done. And even if you told the insurance company that, I'm not hurt, so now you think you don't have a case, that is not admissible. The insurance statements are not admissible, so no one's ever going to find out.
Wait, say that again. If you
gave a recorded statement to the insurance, said, I'm in the day of the wreck, I'm not hurt, and then 3 days later you're like, man, I'm actually in pain. That conversation, although recorded, is not going to be admissible.
Okay, so you could still get help. Okay, one more question about what to do when you get in an accident. If you get all those pictures and everything, Adam, from what I've heard and what I've seen, it takes a long time for the cops to come now because they're just so overworked and they have too much to do.
Yes.
Do you have to wait for the police, or can you just exchange the information and just move on?
Great question. So if you can get the cops to come out there to write a report, that's going to be great. However, it does sometimes take 2, sometimes 3 hours. Sometimes
I'm saying 3 hours, y'all.
So the thing is that, but if you're injured, if you say I'm hurt, they'll be there right away with an ambulance. That's like the trigger for them to be out there. I'm not saying you're injured if you're not injured, but if you are, they'll be there much faster. However, if they get out there, if they're taking too long, be bold about it. Take it recorded out. Say, listen, talk to the person. Say, I'm recording this. Was it your fault? Get it all recorded. If you can't get them, put it in writing. Sometimes you don't have a pen and paper, but that's where the recorders are so good. Get someone to say, admit liability. Then you're good. You're golden.
But a lot of people are not confrontational, and they're in shock, and there's traffic. So what do? You can't wait for the cops. Nobody's technically hurt yet that you see. You can still drive away with a jacked up car. Do you have to have the police report for you to claim insurance?
You do not have to have no, definitely. You don't have to have the police report. The answer is definitely no to that. But sometimes if you don't, then stories change afterwards.
Got it. Yeah.
You're the one that came in my
Smart
lane.
thing to do.
Smart thing to do. It'll take you a couple hours, but it's going to save you a lot.
It's better to wait for the cops.
Way later. Yeah,
Okay,
Thank
great.
you so much, Adam. This is a lot of information.
It's really good. Adam Ramji, guys, 713-all-8s, 888-8888.
Give us a call.
Find
We're here
him
for you.
and get your questions answered and see if you can pursue something when you got injured. Thanks so much for taking the time.
Than't you very much. Give us a call. Take care.
And it's almost that time. Happy holidays. I know. Might have you on before the holidays. Okay, coming up next, guys, Jordan Knight's going to join the Rule and Ryan show because we announced that New Kids on the Block is coming back to Houston. It's actually the Cynthia Woods Mitchell Pavilion next July, and they are doing a Magic Summer 2024 tour. They already did a Magic Summer tour when they were first famous. They're doing it again. We're going to talk to Jordan Knight about it next on The Rule and Ryan Show.
From the big screen to the big house.
Rule and Ryan Celebrity Scoop.
104.1 KRBE.
Welcome to the Rula and Ryan Show on 104.1 KRBE. It's Rula and Eric, and somebody that is making women pass out right now, whether they were in love with him the first time they saw him when they were 15, or they love him again now as adult women, from New Kids on the Block, talking about the Magic Summer 2024 tour. Jordan Knight is here. Hello.
Hey.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, my gosh. Jordan, it has been 15 years since you guys started back again on tour. It's been that many years already.
I know. I can't believe it, man. I'm living it, and it has gone by so fast. It's hard to believe. Like, actually, our first go around with the New Kids on the Block was less time than this reunion. Since the reunion, yeah.
Which would you say is better, like the first time around or the second time? Because you're older, wiser, but the first time you take the first.
The first time, awesome things about the first time, but the second time was. I think now it's like we're all more mature. I think the first time was we became so famous so fast, so big, and it was such a phenomenon that it was hard to kind of take in. It was hard to around. And now it's more like, it's more controlled, and it's a little more tame, and we get to enjoy it more. I enjoy it more for sure, because I'm more mature. I feel it just feels more in control. Yeah. And I don't take it for granted as much. I'm able to soak it in more and just enjoy it.
We're talking to Jordan Knight from New Kids on the Block. The Magic Summer 2024 tour is coming back around in July, and tickets go on sale tomorrow. Jordan, how old were you the first time you got together with all the guys for the New Kids? Before y'all hit the height of hysteria that first time, how old were you?
So I joined the group when I was 14. We didn't have our first hit till I was 18.
See, that's crazy.
That's good, though. At least you had 4 years. You had 4 years to build it up. So,
Yeah. We had 4 years to like hone our craft, to figure it all out, and then when we hit, it was just like tidal wave, basically.
When you guys got together 15 years ago, Jordan, and y'all said, you know what, guys, let's do a reunion tour. Maybe we'll do it like one time, go a couple cities, and we'll see where it goes. Did you ever imagine it'd be like, what, the 7th reincarnation of this tour? I mean, you guys have been touring consistently, I feel like, for 15 years again.
And you're selling out places. It's not like you're just doing little house shows. You guys are selling out.
You're going to the mall.
Yeah, you're selling out big places. It's crazy.
I definitely, when we got back together, I had a feeling that it would be successful, that people wanted to kind of see the New Kids on the Block again. We felt good about it, but I didn't know that it would be kind of like we'd still be doing it. Like, I thought we had a couple tours in us, and maybe that's it. But it's like people want to keep seeing us, you know.
Are you guys ever at the end of the last tour, you're like, okay, I think that might be the one, and then one of y'all says, who wants to go again in 2024? Like, how does that, what's the genesis of that?
Jordan goes, I need a new boat. The boat's
I need 5 more houses.
Yeah. That's my brother when he's tired. He's like, I think this is the last tour. This is the last. You know, he always touring is pretty rough.
Yeah,
it's so my brother, like, he wears his emotions on his sleeve. So he's always like, this is the last tour. It's the last tour.
And then I got a farmhouse fixer to go worry about over here, guys.
Oh, yeah. Plus, you guys are going to be here July 13th, so, I mean, it's going to be a little hot.
Oh, yeah. Cynthia Woods Mitchell Pavilion in Houston area. Oh, my gosh. You ready to sweat? I hope you have giant fans blowing on that stage.
Shorts.
I never thought of that, but we did our Magic Summer tour in 1990 was outside. It was like our first stadium tour. It was just like that. We were like, our outfits were not designed.
Oh no,
for the heat. Sweating, and it was pretty tough. But I think we'll be ready this time. It's gonna be a fun time. We're gonna do we're bringing Jazzy Jeff.
Yes.
And we're bringing Paula Abdul.
Oh yeah.
Paula Abdul.
Special K in our show is gonna faint when he goes to the show.
One of the members of our show, Jordan, loves Paula Abdul. Let me just reintroduce you real quick. For those just tuning into the Rula and Ryan Show on 104.1 KRBE, it's Rula and Eric and Jordan Knight from New Kids on the Block. Tomorrow is the day, guys. Tickets go on sale for the Magic Summer 2024 tour. They're going to be here July 13th, Cynthia Woods Mitchell Pavilion, and this time the clothes are all right. If you're going to be breathable.
Breathable.
And breathable clothing. We're gonna be do all that we're gonna do. We're gonna sing all the hits. We're gonna bring everyone back in the day to the early '90s to the late '80s, and we're gonna just relive all the moments and get all the feels of when we were young and carefree, basically.
Yesterday on the show, Jordan, we had a game that we played on the air for prizes to win them before you can buy them New Kids on the Block tickets. The girl that won, her name is Kira.
Because of me. Thank you. I won.
It was like this quiz game, and she paired up with Eric, and Eric won the game for her, and he has bragging rights. Okay, so we asked Kira, you've loved New Kids since you were like 12. We're going to talk to Jordan Knight. Give us a question for Jordan Knight. What do you want to know from Jordan Knight? And here's what she asked.
Who was your celebrity crush or celebrity girlfriend when y'all started? I love y'all. Can't wait to see y'all.
I was crazy over Janet Jackson.
Yeah.
Did you get to meet her back then or no?
I met her once. I met her at a show. I was actually very shy when I met her. And my brother was telling her, he loves you, he loves you, he loves But it was like even before she came out with the Control album, I always like kind of had a crush on her. She was on like
Different Strokes.
Charlene.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So she was probably my crush.
So then now you know how fans that meet you that were crushing on you and they can't say anything, and probably somebody with them is like, oh my God, she loves you. She loves you. You know exactly how that is now because John had to do that for you with Janet Jackson.
What about celebrities? Are there any celebrities that you've met the last 15 years that just went up to you and said, I had your poster on my wall?
It was very flattering is that Pink told me that.
Really? That's awesome.
It was really flattering. She's really cool. She was like, man, I used to love you guys. I had your posters and blah, 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 blah. So whenever we hear that, it's very flattering, especially coming from somebody like Pink.
Yeah. Well, we are very excited to welcome you guys back to the Houston area at the Cynthia Woods Mitchell Pavilion, July 13th. And the tickets go on sale tomorrow at 10 a.m. But of course, KRB is going to hook you up with the tickets for the Magic Summer 2024 tour. Thanks so much for taking the time to hang out with us today. Jordan Knight from New Kids on the Block.
No doubt. Thanks for having me on. And we'll see you guys next year.
Yay! Oh, yeah. Okay, so caller 10 right now, 713-390-KRBE. You get a pair of New Kids on the Block tickets for the Magic Summer 2024 tour. That is caller 10 at 713-390-KRBE.
Never realized he had such a Boston accent. I mean, I know he's from there, but...
It's kind of cool that Pink grew up to be Pink. And she's like, I used to love you guys.
Pretty
so
cool.
Fun. Okay, coming up next, if you missed Rule Ryan's Roses, guys. Oh, wow. Mike, Lisa, and the coworker. You got to hear it next on KRBE.